Hello and welcome to our channel. As most of you already know, the language proficiency test is one of the most important requirements to achieve in most economic immigration programs. In this video, we are going to talk about CELPIP versus IELTS. And if you do not know which one to choose for your immigration application, keep watching this video. My name is Marilyn Quintana. I'm a regulated Canadian immigration consultant and director of operations at EV's Immigration. Our mission is to provide valuable tips and updates regarding Canadian immigration and assist you to become a successful immigrant in Canada. Let's get started. First, I would like to talk about test availability. You usually can find IELTS tests in most cities and countries around the world. For CELPIP, however, they are investing and increasing its availability, but not as available as IELTS. CELPIP is currently available in countries such as Canada, US, India, United Emirates, UK, Australia, Japan, and some others, but not as available as IELTS. So depending on the country that you're applying from, it may be the case that only IELTS is available close to you. However, if you are in Canada, both tests are widely available. Regarding the test format, IELTS have two options. You can take IELTS paper-based or computer-based, while CELPIP is only available computer-based. So if you feel more confident in answering by hand rather than using a computer, the IELTS could be a better option for you. It is important to mention that even for the tests that are computer-based, you still need to go to a test center in order to take the test. Now let's talk about the main differences per ability. For the reading part of the test, both tests are very similar. But in our experience, we see clients performing better in the reading from CELPIP than in the reading from IELTS test. For the listening ability, IELTS may use different accents, such as the British accent, the Irish accent, the Australian accent, and this can make it easier for some people, however, a little bit more difficult to others. CELPIP, on the other hand, will focus on the North American accent, which in my personal opinion can be a little bit easier to understand. Before we continue, if you're enjoying this video, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and follow us in our social media. For the writing part of the test, both tests can be very similar. Both you have two tasks, in which task 1, you have to write a memo or an email, usually with at least 150 words, and on task 2, usually an answer or an essay, giving your opinion or stating some facts in a more formal way with at least 250 words. If you choose IELTS paper-based test, you'll be able to write it by hand, but be very careful with your calligraphy. But make sure that your writing is legible. If you choose to do the computer-based test, either in IELTS or CELPIP, you'll be typing in your answers. And nowadays, people most likely prefer the computer version. One great difference between the two tests is that CELPIP will underline the words that you misspell without correcting them or suggesting the right way, but giving you an opportunity to review and making the correction by yourself. IELTS, however, won't give you any hint if you misspell any word in your answer. From my personal opinion and experience, I see people having better results in the IELTS writing test than on CELPIP. And finally, on the speaking part of the test, the differences can be huge. First, for IELTS, even if you choose the paper-based or the computer-based test, the speaking part of your test will always be in person, meaning you have a conversation face-to-face with the examiner. For the CELPIP test, the speaking part is always on the computer, which can be easier for some people, especially the introspective ones. But in my personal opinion, The speaking part of the test, it is easier on IELTS. One point that's very important to mention as well is that for the IELTS speaking part of the test, you'll be in a room dedicated to your examination without sharing with other test takers. This means that you're not going to have any disturbance or interruption that may confuse you during the test. For CELPIP, the entire test is done in one sitting, which means the 4 abilities is done in the same room, all in front of a computer. And in that matter, the speaking part can also be an extra challenge because you're going to be sharing the room with all test takers. And sometimes, if you are speaking and giving your answer, you may also overhear that a person in the same room is also performing the test and giving different answers. Another point to consider is that even though test takers in the same room start the test all at the same time, different people may advance slower or faster to the next part of the tests, and this can also interfere in your performance. For example, if you are still doing the reading part of your test and you overhear that somebody is already recording the speaking part of the test, which is after, you may think that you are not being fast enough, and this can cause you anxiety and jeopardize your performance. The tip here is not to take into consideration what other people in the same room are doing and only focus on your test. Overall, there's no test that's easier or more difficult. It really depends on your individual strengths or weaknesses. If you prefer to speak to a computer, for example, rather than having a face-to-face interaction with the examiner, CELPIP may be easier for you. If you prefer the face-to-face interaction, IELTS will be the best choice. For the listening part, if you prefer the North American accent, CELPIP could be a better option. If you prefer the British or other accents, IELTS may be easier for you. For the reading and writing part, there is not like a huge difference between the two tests. I'd like also to point out that regardless of the test that you choose, with practice and dedication, you can achieve your goals. And I also like to highlight that if you're preparing to take the test, you shouldn't study general English. You must take a prep course or study focusing on the specific test that you're going to take, which means learning what the examiners are looking for and learning what answer will affect the most your score. And we also have an update to share with you. The Canadian government has announced that until end of 2023, they will start accepting Pearson Test of English, also known as PTE test. The exact date when they're going to start accepting, it's not yet confirmed. We are very excited for this update because the Pearson Test of English has also test centers all around the world, which will increase the options for test takers to achieve the score that they need for the immigration application. In terms of what type of test you need to choose for immigration matters, if you decided to take IELTS, you must choose the General Training Test. For CELPIP, you must choose the General Test, including the 4 abilities. Make sure that you don't select the General LS because the LS test only tests the listening and the speaking part of your proficiency and is only focused for citizenship applicants. For Pearson Test of English, the test that's going to be accepted for immigration purposes is the Pearson Test of English Essential English Test. To find out more information of when the government will start accepting the PTE test, follow us in our social media. And if you wanted to know more how to immigrate to Canada and what are the options available, we can assist you. Our contact information is down below this video. I hope you enjoyed this video and that the content shared was useful to you. And if you like this video, don't forget to give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and leave your comments down below the video. Also, follow us in our social media. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.